Yo,
Yes.
we on.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Go ahead,
ABE.
G. Go ahead.
Welcome to Art, Beauty, Equilibrium After Dark. Sorry for the tardy. We just got everything together. Hello. This is our first time doing this show in the evening. You're used to seeing us in the morning. But make some noise, everybody.
Let's go.
What's going on, man?
So this is what episode 185 is very special to us because we've been on here for the past 2 or 3 years. We started right before the pandemic, and through the years we've grown. We have over 1 million views. You guys have been with us, our subscribers. You guys have supported us along the way, and we want to give a special show live in person because everybody was always saying, okay, hey, we want to be there. So this is an opportunity for anybody who wants to come on and join us. We have with us today Dr. Michelle Hannah.
Woo.
And
The relationship.
exactly. If you joined us a few weeks ago, she was on here sharing some jewels about life,
Sharing
about
some
relationships.
fire.
Okay, about
Yes.
yourself. She has a book called The Self-Vow. And I suggest everybody pick it up because it's been helping me. It's wonderful. It's just something that you can use as a tool in your everyday life, and I thank you for that. And we also have Damon on the panel today.
Let's go.
Top 5 viewer right here has been watching the show since the very first episode, man.
I'm happy to be here.
The
Man,
very first
For
episode.
sure. This is what's up.
the best comments.
Okay. And we want to thank Tommy J and Sean.
Hey,
Tiger Lily.
Okay.
Tiger Lily.
And everybody else to join us today. But we have an open mic, kind of like set up today. So anybody who wants to get on can get on, and we want to hear from y'all too in the chat room. So thank you. Let's get it.
Let's get it. So we're gonna jump right on in, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first topic of the day is what is the most important thing when it comes to a relationship?
That's
Most
big.
important.
Transparency, authenticity, and vulnerability.
Authenticity.
Word.
Love that.
3 of them.
Word.
And 3 of them.
Transparency.
I'm with that.
Transparency is that is a deep one because you have to be vulnerable, I guess, to be transparent. So it's all connected.
But everybody doesn't deserve your vulnerability. So everyone deserves that you are transparent, meaning that you are honest. Because what happens is in relationships, we show up as the representative. So we show up in a lie. And then we tell half of the truth. And then I date you because of what you showed me and what you told me. So then if you had given me the entire truth, then I would have made a different decision, right?
Right.
So vulnerability is you may deserve my vulnerability and you may not, right? Because so many people we give our vulnerability to that don't deserve it. And that's how we get hurt,
All
right?
right. So why do you think people don't keep it real from the jump?
Because they're not real with themselves.
Yep, self-awareness.
Because they lie to themselves every morning when they wake up. And sometimes you lie to yourself, you don't even know you're lying. Until maybe you meet someone and then you realize when you look in that mirror, because that's what happens in relationship. It's just a mirror of who we are, of what we need to change, what we need to do better. And I think that sometimes in relationships, the thing you most hate about the other person is something that's going on with you on why you hate that so much.
Word.
Either that's been done to you, or it's something about yourself you really don't like, and it keeps mirroring and showing up to you for you to change.
Thank you.
Right.
I always say that vulnerability and transparency is like the foundation to intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
You're not close to anybody unless you're giving up your true self. For
That's
real.
absolutely
You know what I'm saying? We can rub and touch and kiss all we want, but until we open up ourselves, we're not receiving anybody close to us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And there's different types of intimacy, right? Because a lot of times with men, when you say intimacy, we think, okay, you think sex, you think physical, right? There is sex intimacy, there's physical intimacy, there's emotional intimacy, there's intellectual intimacy, there's spiritual intimacy. So in finding a partner, I would want that person has all of that intimacy to connect with, right?
Yes.
Because I mean, there's men that's like in their 30s now that's having erectile dysfunction. So if you
don't
are
do that
just
to me.
into,
Don't do that to me.
Hold on.
Too soon?
Hold on.
Too early?
30?
It's so
30s. I'm
30.
44. I wish this table was made of wood. But I mean, okay.
It's like
It might be the food.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But to build on what you're saying, though, not only in, like romantic relationships, even in your other relationships,
Yes.
family and friends, you want that intimacy. Now, I know this guy since I was 6 years old.
Okay.
And if I couldn't tell him anything, you know what I'm saying, we wouldn't be rocking to this day.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he's solid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I have a question, just to segue into that. I want to know, just as a group of people, we always talk and we see everybody is trying to get shows out here, whatever. Like, I think a lot of people, even if you're single, you may think of a relationship, and then at the end of the day, you're trying to gain a deeper relationship with yourself too, because it's like you're finding yourself. You know what I mean? When you're not with anybody else, or you find yourself more spending more time with yourself, doing things that you actually like to do. But I will ask the panel this. This is for everybody, and it's just special to me to hear, like, what are the rules then? Because if you say transparency, right? How do you start off a new relationship or a relationship with somebody without giving too much? Because that's
Very
also
good
something
question.
that can be like, you don't want to like give up too much too soon. You don't want to like divulge your secrets with somebody new. So are there any kind of like rules that anybody follows that are like, should be like in a safe zone for?
I don't
like,
know the rules. I want to go first so that when y'all give us the rules, because we got the doc. I don't want to sound like an ass after. Let me sound like an ass now. I mean, I think like some of what I was wanting to comment on earlier is like about self-awareness, and then knowing how to communicate what you know about yourself, which takes time to date yourself and love yourself and all of those things you were bringing up already. But once you do those things, then you will know what to say and you will know what to share, because you're aware of what things matter for you and what holds you, what your anchors are, so you won't give people access to that room where you got codes and stuff like that, to those things that hold you down. But you can be comfortable in, I think you have to have a certain amount of awareness to be vulnerable, because you need to be that in every space that you're in. And when you're not, you're going to be closed off and self-destructive. So what is it called? Self-sabotaging, because you enter a room with less than who you actually are, because you don't know enough about yourself to say, this is who I am, this is how much I'll allow you access towards. And then once you get access, baby, don't get the access. It's amazing. But you have to know that about yourself first, and then you'll protect it, and you'll cherish it.
I think also too, like having that discernment going into something new, but also not taking the past with you. Like, you have to give any person that you allow into your life, you have to give them like a fresh start. Like, you have to like let go if you're going to date. If you're going to date. Now, if you feel like you can't let that go, then you're not ready. But you have to be open. You have to be open to different opinions. And I think one of the number one with being transparent is accountability. Accountability. Transparency, communication, accountability is like, for me, my top three. My top three. Because nobody is always right. And it's always more than one story. You know what I mean? There's what they say, your side, my side, and then there's reality. You know what I mean? But being open-minded. You know what I mean? So, yes, be open. I feel like you should be your authentic self. I feel that way. But, also, we're not going to be stupid either, because we know what happened over here. But I'm not going to let what happened over here take me to over here. You know what I mean? Because this is a totally different person.
So you both made a lot of good points. But I do definitely believe we attract who we are. So what I mean by that is that if I am having a problem with authenticity, self-awareness, being truthful, all of those things, that is what I'm going to attract, right? So if you are a person that comes into a relationship that is bringing the past, so it comes down even to communication on how women and men communicate. So, you know what, I got a download this morning. You mind if I share it with you?
Yes, please.
Sure.
On communication. And I get so much stuff that if I don't take a note of this, I will actually forget it.
Give her the
So women communicate from a place of knowledge, evidence, emotion, and or a place of when they were last hurt or when they were last healed. Okay? The men communicate from a place of resolution, ego, options, and or when they were last disrespected and or honored.
That part.
So when you
profound.
think
Just
about
describe
that in terms of
I don't even need a mic.
when you yeah, but you know, and those are just like, and I'm humbled by that because that's just a download. I'm a very spiritual person, and so when those downloads come, that's to me first. So then I just give it to the world after that, but I'm accountable to what that message is telling me first, right? So when it comes to your past, right, if you are stuck in the past, you will attract someone that's stuck in the past. If you are lying to yourself and saying, I'm okay, but you really need help, you will attract someone that actually is lying. Doesn't mean about the same thing.
Right.
They just lying.
That's what stuck out to me. The first, I was just about to bring that up. The first time you came by, that just stuck in my head. How you said, if you're a liar, you're going to attract a liar, but they might not be lying about the same thing you lying about. They just a liar.
And you may be a little liar, but you may attract a big liar, a pathological liar, a habitual liar, right? Exactly.
Right.
So that's why it's so important with what you said about self-awareness. Because as we just get really real with ourselves, and it's not about judgment, it's not about what somebody is thinking about you, but it's just about, you know what, I need to get me together, whatever that takes. So if that means that I need to start liking myself, because you can't love yourself if you don't like yourself.
Okay.
And if you can't like yourself if you don't hang out with yourself. And so it does not mean that you go to lunch and then you are here on the phone. That's not hanging out with yourself. That's being very uncomfortable with yourself. So if you go to lunch by yourself, then it's really enjoying the food, it's enjoying the people that's around you. You talked about dating, and what you were, I think, where you were going was dating with a purpose. We all have different purposes. It can be, I'm dating you because I'm getting back into the dating scene. So there's nothing wrong with being a serial dater. I didn't say go sleep with everybody you dating, but I'm saying you can just date and figure things out. It's better for you to figure things out than to get in a relationship that you weren't ready for. Some people want to date with a purpose to get married. So then you don't need to date a person that it has told you from the beginning that they are not trying to get married and they are not trying to have kids, but you want to have kids. You want to get married.
Please.
So you have to date the person that you are actually looking for, but first you got to become. So once you become, then you start to date. You know, so that was along the lines of what you were saying.
And we'll have the notes from this discussion in the bio that you can download.
Yes. We also have a comment I want to read. Someone in the chat room said that they feel like with all the differences between men and women, it results in a lot of gaslighting is being created, and they want to know how can we meet in the middle in communication and relationships.
You know, I had a question though, like, because I feel like that can be confusing because the term dating, when you say dating, isn't that typically for marriage or when you're trying to court? Because if it's not for marriage, then you shouldn't be using the term dating because I feel like that blurs the lines.
Dating, courting, right? So if I'm dating, the ing means I'm in the process. of figuring whatever I need to figure out. I'm dating. Now, there's another conversation that are we exclusively dating one another? That means that you are dating me, I am dating you, that you are not sleeping with anybody else, that we are monogamous towards one another, that you are professing me. That means that your friends know that you are dating me exclusively, right? Now, if I say, I'm just dating, I'm out here dating, then I don't connect to it. But then you're outside, right? So, and then courting is something that's really different that we don't even use that word anymore, which is so
I love
offensive.
that word.
I love that word too.
Courting.
I love
Absolutely.
that
Courting.
Because that's a different type
I don't
of
like
relationship.
courtship.
Please define courting. Please define courting.
Yeah.
Because
Courting means?
men don't use that word, one. And two, we get like, we on the cross. You're like, you supposed to court me. Like, what does that mean? I thought we was a couple. I thought we was dating. I thought we was hanging out.
That's
I
why
thought we was doing
communication is so important. That's why I said communication is one of the main things in transparency.
I think courting and dating is the same thing.
Well, and it's language there. There's language there, and you're saying communication matters, but if you don't know about the words that you're using or how to express yourself, you have to know yourself first to know how to express how you feel. You know what I mean? And in a way that is that makes sense to the person that you're courting or dating or communicating with. Like, it has to be on the same level. Even if you're more intellectual, I mean, you could talk to somebody in a different language, but I'm just saying, like, it has to reach that person.
Correct.
Yeah, and if it's not reaching because we're communicating, because it's not reaching, that's when you exit this way. If it's not, that's why I said communicating, not necessarily, y'all might not be communicating on the same level, but if it's not, if y'all not on the same page, like, you have to communicate. Like, you call me, I call you. My plans, your plans. My values, your values. My integrity, your integrity.
But I feel like, and I'm not trying to really, really cut you off, but I'm saying, like, communication is another buzzword of the day, right? And I feel like that has to be defined to a certain level too, because some people think communication is being in contact with each other and not necessarily.
I'm talking about body language. I'm talking about everything.
No one is,
I'm talking about communication.
No one is like necessarily peeling back the layers on the onion and getting to the crux of situations.
Really understand.
But then that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Being vulnerable, and at what level are you going to be vulnerable? So you are kind of playing this, doing this dance, kind of, trying to figure out, what's going on. And the thing that influences us most is like social media. We're scrolling, we're hearing all these buzzwords, accountability, communication,
I think over the
all this
years,
stuff. So how do we get to the of what's going on to build healthy relationships? Because that's what we're talking about, right?
Preach.
I think it's
Right.
hard
That's why
to
I
get back
said-
to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I'm not trying to say that you're saying anything wrong, but I'm just trying to get to the next level of the conversation.
When I say like I said, let's go back to what I was saying. When I say communication, I'm talking about actions, body language. There's different forms of communicating, not just through words. You understand? And that's going back to what I previously said, discernment. After a certain age, once you experience certain things, you have a gift of discernment. Well, I have a gift of discernment. So, yeah, everybody's going to do that dance and two-step when you first meet somebody, or even if you're just being friends. Let's not even take it on a dating level. Let's just take it on I meet you, you meet me, we just cool. You gotta have discernment and communication with friendships too. You understand what I'm saying? And even more so if you're dating, even more so if you're dating with a purpose. So that's what I mean by communication. Don't just think just words. I'm saying communication with your actions, with your values, with your integrity, with your things that are supposed to align together in order to build something, whether it's a friendship, whether it's relationship, whether it's marriage, whether it's just having kids. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm so glad you said that, because that goes back to spending time with yourself. And you said values, and when you spend your time with yourself, you get to get a kind of like take inventory of yourself and learn your values. I'm glad we had this communication.
But it's also what that means to that person. Like, how I communicate or how I receive it may not be how you receive it. So now we just talking at each other, but we really trying to get to the same point. So that's why it's really important to have those conversations and understand that person and what it looks like. Because I might be a production, I do a big. They want you to just remember, I like this candy today. So then you have an attitude because they didn't acknowledge what you did. But if you just bought them what they asked for, you would get that reaction. So it's just understanding how I receive it, because you can't just give it to me any way you want to and then get mad because I didn't understand it or I didn't receive it that way.
And you gotta watch the Art Equilibrium show because how else will you know how to approach that situation?
Tommy J.
Right.
I also think.
Shout out Tommy J.
Oh yeah, I just want to say. I also think too, a big part of communication is setting the foundation where it's a safe place to communicate. Because a lot of times, if I bring something to you that you may not want to hear, you know what I mean, and it may be difficult for me to even come to you with something. If you jump on me as soon as I say it, I might shut down. You know,
Yeah.
I might not get to.
Yeah.
We might not get to figure that out.
But,
We might not get to solve that issue. So I think it's about making it safe for everybody to say how they feel, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how tough the conversations are, and encouraging that from one another. Because really, to your point, Damon, that's the only time we're gonna get to really solving any issue we have is if we're comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
You know?
Right.
absolutely. That is good. Creating a safe space. You were speaking about defining certain topics, because I may define it, and I'm sorry, tell me your name again.
Lynden.
Lynden? Okay. So Lynden said dating and courting was the same for him, right? So I think that when we communicate, we have to define what is my definition about what we're discussing. Because maybe my environment, how I was brought up, you know,
To me, it was
where
like
I come from. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's
No,
just
go
like remember when we was like in middle school and you was we used to call it talking. Like that was like the little kiddie way. We was talking, and everybody knew if y'all was talking, you shouldn't be talking to nobody else. You know, we
That
talk.
wasn't happening, but that's what
You know what I'm saying?
assumption was.
Right. But I feel like now that we're older, that's what dating and courting would be. And I personally feel that it should be exclusively, but that's based off my beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm only going to date with the intent to marry. If that's not what I'm doing, then I'm outside.
But if we just talking, we just
Or we could just be talking. Just to be talking. You know?
my options are open.
So I
Just like we
think,
talked about,
if you,
replace
if
our
you,
options.
hey look, Melinda, you have to at some point. I feel like that still has to be communicated because it is an assumption, right?
No, you have to communicate
Because
that.
you coming into a situation with your values and your understandings and your definitions. That other person, they may have a different.
But I was only saying that. But once upon a time, I felt like you didn't have to communicate that as much. Now we got all kind of definitions.
Well, you was a
We got
child.
situationships. We got friends with benefits. We just F buddies. We have all different type of dynamics we've created now
There's a
to
lot of
where
stuff going on.
now you have to communicate all this. But
Still communication.
I just feel like it ain't rocket science.
Upbringing has a major part in
Yeah,
that
that's-
too.
yeah,
Upbringing
is it?
has a major part in that too. Upbringing has made. Don't
Now
forget
we
the
made it a
upbringing.
rocket science. I feel like man, we either talking or we not. That's just me though. And what are we doing this for?
What are we doing?
Or we just outside?
But then are you having that conversation?
Absolutely.
though?
I talk about all of
Yeah.
that because I'm not about to be going along with just not knowing what's going on. I'm very clear. I don't like that.
Well, see, I mean, but I think that that's the point, though, is that both parties, whatever you guys define it as. So if she's comfortable with you saying, hey, I'm just talking to you, and
Right.
this is what talking to you means, and I'm good with this is what talking to you means, right? And you're good with that, then that's your personal life. You know,
Right.
do it what makes you comfortable, right?
Right.
But I feel like courting, at least what we used to call courting, is a whole different kind of situation.
Right.
This is why the situationship, the F buddies, and all these different kind of
Dynamics.
Dynamics that come up through relationship or out of relationship is because we got away from real values.
Yeah,
We
that's
got
what
away from real foundation, right? So even when let's talk about the situationship. Can we
Let's
just
talk about
Let's talk about it.
Wait.
Let's
After hours ain't about levity and morals.
But look, but you said values, right? Values. You said because of we've lost sight of values.
We have lost sight of values.
Is that because so many things are convenient based now? Like the same home cooked dinner that I used to value from my woman doing it for me, I could Uber eat that.
We're like,
Not really.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that.
If she can cook really
Chipotle that tastes like
you
mine.
can't Uber eat that.
No, but I'm saying like, but it's not about if she can throw down or not. Her willingness to go in there and cook for me is no longer needed anymore because I can Uber eat those things.
No.
That's just a question. I'm not saying that's what I think.
Because the thing about it is, it's like I'm. If my lady in the kitchen making me something, it don't matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's the fact that she's doing it for me.
BLT?
You know what I'm saying? It could be a BLT. I love a BLT. On wheat.
Right.
On
I
wheat.
respect that.
You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
I think a lot of times we just talked a lot about we just talked a lot about self and also dating. But I think that the bottom line is you have to basically establish the rules for engagement because this table, you know, we talk a lot about background and where we came from and who we are now. And then as a couple, there's also evolution.
Yeah.
Because you're evolving, you're growing with the person. And so your same foundational tools that you had may not be the same 10 years, 15 years down the line, or even 5 months down the line. And I said all that to say that if you're talking to somebody and you say, okay, this tablecloth is black, white, and yellow, okay? They may not see black, white, and yellow. You know what I mean? They might not even define the tablecloth as a tablecloth. So I feel like when you talk to your partner and you're talking in this relationship, and you're talking and courting or dating, whatever you're doing to these people, I feel like it's very important to establish a groundwork for what it is you're doing and how you even determine and how you describe it because it's so much emotion in words.
Your core
And
values
so I feel
got to
like,
be on the same page.
right, but I feel like it's really important. People's, like he said, throw communication around so much. Communication. Somebody's at the door.
I don't think we want them there. That ain't it.
I think they were just
But I feel like if you don't even know how this person is defining something, or how we're defining it together, or how another person defines it, like you're not going to still know, because a lot of times women, we basically communicate with emotion, and we may say things, and it's because it's a semantic difference that, you know, somebody gets this moment in time with us or whatever, and then we may not even feel this way, or it's because of the way that the person said it or delivered it. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's really important to even talk about what we think and how we define things with our partners, because we don't know how they're even looking at things or even valuing things. You know, what if the person says, okay, because a lot of people are so I want to say like in a box these days where they do the same thing with 9 different people because they pay the bills, they buy this, they do, I'm cooking this, I'm doing it, and it's like, well, that you basically have like a little routine that you do with every single person, and it's not like it's not really basically having anything to do with this person. You don't know if that's what they like. You know, you don't know, did you ask them? You don't know what their interests are. You don't know if they hold that important. You don't know if they value that, you know? So I feel like that's also something that you have to talk about. And I don't want to say communicate again, but it's like at the end of the day, I feel like you should have like more of an in-depth discussion, because it's more of a skill set to basically like keeping something going, you know? So I feel like
that's the tough part. Yeah.
Right, exactly. When you communicate, and then when things happen, life happens, kids happen, your job is happening, you have to basically say, okay, as these things are happening around us, how do we keep on and keep it up, you know? So anyway.
I think that the determining factor, everything you said, amazing, because it's all of that, right? But I think when you really truly find someone that you want to invest time with, right, then you actually do want to understand. Right, you actually do care about their love languages, which is very important, because you you can love me the way you think that you should love me.
Facts.
But that doesn't mean that that's the love that how I need you to love me. And you're right. We evolve in relationship, especially in marriage. We evolve. I may be evolving like this. You may be evolving like that. But then are we still on the same journey? Even though we may be taking paths, a little different paths. Sometimes I may evolve at a capacity that seems like I'm just, miles and miles ahead of you, right? But am I invested enough to be patient with you to catch up? And in the sense of, and what I mean is that it's not about you needing to be where I need to be or me needing to be where you need to be. But sometimes a mate might just be going through something. And you just have to kind of be patient and wait on them to get to where you are, or vice versa in the situation. Now, it's different when the person's not trying anymore.
Right.
I think when you're not trying, you're not invested anymore, you're checked out. I don't care. All the communication in the world is not going to change that. The only communication needs to be is that I'm checked out. I'm done. I don't want to be in this anymore. Right. That's it. That's all that needs to be said, because your actions are showing me that anyway, right?
Yes.
So, but you're right. It is a lot of buzz around communication, in any 10 tips of successful relationship communications there. I think what people miss, though, is effective communication and being able to understand, like you talked about it, a safe space, creating that safe space, tone, because some of us type A personalities, recovering kinda, sorta, alpha female, that men need a safe space, and so do women. But we also need to get back to softeners, and what that, so the two of you, what are your softeners that you use towards each other in communicating?
Well, sometimes I feel like it's easier for me to say, just to be completely honest, you know what, I don't want to have a long, drawn-out conversation. If we can just get to the meat of it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes you don't want a 3-hour
I got
conversation, and I don't want to get tired, and my attention is gone from trying to just like let's just agree to get to it.
Right.
I think that's some of the, and it may sound harsh, but that is like a soft thing for me, because I feel like life is happening, and we have to basically strategically do things at times. And I'm not saying all of the time, but let's just get to it,
But that may be a soft approach for you, but it may not be a soft approach for him. Or it may be. He may like it just like that, and that's fine.
Right.
But sometimes I think in communication, one person is saying it one way, and the other person is receiving it something totally different. So if you ask that person, say, well, what did she just say to you?
You're on the clock.
Exactly.
Get it out.
Exactly. My emotions, my feelings are on the clock. Come on, get to it. And I understand. My husband is like that, where he takes his time. He processes everything. And I'm just like, all right now, I got like 10 minutes. I'm trying to be as soft as I can be. Right. But then again, he could probably say, when I'm passionate about something,
can I throw
it's not like 10 minutes. Go ahead.
I think that's what I was going to get to. Sometimes it feels like I may be drawn out on my issues.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But when I may be on the receiving end, make it real detailed. You know what I mean? So it's kind of approaching it. I always say something I do to soften it is, I'm okay now with, like, we don't got to solve everything tonight. You know what I mean? And that's big, because sometimes something could be irritating you, and you gotta look up at your partner and say, you don't look so good right now.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this later.
Right.
You know, and it's okay.
I needed that.
And you got to
Thank
give
you.
each other that mercy.
And
The key part is even when you right, because sometimes like the joke says, "Oh, we harping on this." When you got when you're in the right and you catch somebody, sometimes you want to draw it out. You got the little devil on your shoulder, like we're gonna draw this out. We're bringing this up all week.
It's
like,
okay to be
no.
petty
Do we want to
sometimes.
be
No.
right or do we want to
Okay,
be
it's
right?
okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
not about
Don't you
being
be
right. It's not about
respectful,
being right.
I
Don't
don't
be
think it's
respectful with it.
I don't think it's
Nah,
petty.
I don't
I
like
think
petty.
I think we really just
It's
want to
okay.
be. I think that as men, and I get in the same boat as G, as your husband, where I want to talk it all the way through. I just want you to fully acknowledge what's going on right now, and then we can go to bed. That's simple.
You like,
but
not
when
before
you know,
It's okay.
and I'm sorry in advance, my lady. But when you get that dry, I'm sorry, and whatever, it's just like, nah, you don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Those okay.
Sometimes you just revisit the
Okay.
conversation in the morning. It's okay to revisit the conversation.
And that's totally
it's okay
fine
to not
too.
come to a conclusion in this moment. We could sit in it sometimes. Let's just sit in it sometimes.
Right. But if you do not come to a conclusion that night, are y'all going to bed still mad at each
No,
other?
that's
Or is it-
That's why.
Because that's very
why-
important.
No,
Because
that's why I said you have to be
okay.
okay.
Yeah, like good
With
night,
not solving everything.
love you.
You gotta be
We holler about this
Right.
tomorrow.
and really at peace.
That's it.
Okay, we can do that.
That's it.
But
Because if it's like,
Let's
Yeah.
not rush.
That's what happens.
then
That's
nah,
what
that
happens.
ain't cool.
Yeah.
We beefing.
Don't do that.
We beefing.
I said this is the this conversation how I would do it. Listen, we not coming to an agreement right now, so I love you. We're gonna go to bed tonight and let's talk about it in the morning.
Yeah, I'm
okay,
cool with
you
that.
good with that?
Yeah, that's
You
cool.
good with
You gotta
that?
be really good.
That's cool, but that got to be really what it is. Because like if you crease in the center of the bed and all of that, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it may not even be in the morning. Like
Slicing
it
up.
may just be like when
You still mad?
when that light like softens
Then
you
wake back
up
up.
more to basically be able to like open that up, because it may not be in the morning. It may be, whenever. But it's like that's also something that I've learned, that you can't put like a time limit on somebody's like healing.
Right.
Or when they're ready to basically like open up or talk about something. Like we really always want to know. I think as humans, you know what I mean? So you want somebody to have like an immediate answer or really know what they feel. And I feel like we have to give them that grace just like we expect that grace, So I feel like that's very important because when we're talking, just G and I, like it's a lot of stuff going on at a lot of times, and we have to be respectful of each other, and it's like situational too, because you kind of like know that when you are moving and something's like needs immediate attention, if it's a kid, if it's you can lend your attention to that or whatever. But then I feel like when you're making time, make time for that relationship, make time for those moments too, because you have to know that it's the time that you're taking to get back to that person because it's important,
Yeah.
I think
wanna
that's
get back
very
to it.
true about what it is, because there are some things that are very complex, and actually you do need to have the part two less than 24 hours because that can start to blow up into something totally different. And then there's other things where it's not as pressing, but it's important.
Right.
And those are the things actually that you really need to pay attention to, because you tend to keep just putting it on the back burner because it's not that serious where it's going to make you or break you, but it eventually may if it continues to keep lingering. So I think that sometimes what I give my couples is take one, take two, take three. So in that take one, your only focus is to come and talk about what it is you want to get off your heart. It's not to solve it. It's just, let me get this off my heart, let you get it off your heart, right? I think we have to have mental time limits on stuff too, though, right? Because sometimes when we're real passionate about something, we don't know that we've talked for like 10 minutes straight.
Yeah.
We don't.
Right.
It's, for us, it just seems like we just been talking
Get off
60
my back.
seconds.
Stop talking about me. Stop.
Make your point.
Yeah. So sometimes we do have to kind of have that where it's like, you know, whatever it is for you guys, whether it's 2.5 minutes or it's 5 minutes and break, you know, and then let the other person go. And then take two is basically I had time to think about it and to process it. So now when I come back to you, I'm coming back with what are my options?
And that's what I think is most important. That time to process it, because there's nothing more annoying than talking about something too quick and then later on other things pop up and now look, you can't bring that back up. Right. That's real weak. That's when you be on vacation like, remember that one? Nah, hold on. We talked about the trip, right? That's why I feel like you need to take the time to think, write down what your beef.
That's why I like.
Because ain't no going back.
Right. She said take one, take two, take three. That's true. Because sometimes you can feel like basically somebody's ignoring that conversation. Yes. You know what I mean? And you're like in your head, you're reliving it. You're like, okay, so you just gonna walk around. We just go. Oh, so this what we doing? You know what I mean? You have a whole conversation to yourself because it hasn't been like, okay, let's address this in due time. I mean, not in due time, but we need to address this thing like, you know, right now. So, but I want to take time to
it's once you get to take three, that is about the resolution. So then everybody feels comfortable and we're getting to the resolution because we are both committed to getting to take three. But if a lot of times what happens, we only get to take one or two, and we never end up getting to take three.
Okay.
Yeah.
And has a question.
Well, I have a comment.
She's been waiting for
I'm one of Dr. Michelle. She's my life coach. In relationships, we've been through it. But one thing she did teach me was I'm very confrontational. I'm right up there in its face, ready to solve it. And she said, why don't you give it 24 hours? And that right there was the key to, well, when I was in a relationship, it was the key to us solving our issues because it gave us time. It wasn't like we went to bed mad. We went to bed with, we got 24 hours to solve this problem, solve this issue. So it wasn't like, oh, she's mad, she's slamming doors, she's probably gonna spit in my sandwich today. It wasn't none of that. It was literally like, I got 24 hours to come up with my problem, come up with my solution.
She said she's confrontational.
I am very You might want to smell your drink and check your sandwiches.
Have you ever spit in a sandwich? That is the question of the day.
Good too.
Have you spit in a sandwich?
Because sometimes you'll realize that.
Spit in your man's sandwich.
Wow.
Ladies,
Hopefully you wasn't working for Jersey Mike's.
I'm better now.
Subway or any.
Whoa. I went through self-vows with Dr. Michelle. I'm better. I'm wiser.
Wait. All I have to say is, thank you, Doc. Jesus Christ.
You know too, that 24-hour time period, sometimes you realize that some things don't need to be addressed too. It works out real well.
That's why I want to read the comments. Some of the comments in the chat room, I got to read these comments. Get back up.
Amelia has a good one.
Michelle said, that's right. A way to a man's stomach is through the stomach. I mean, a man's heart is through the stomach. I don't want to waste too much time giving a list of to-dos when I'm getting to know a person. Sometimes a woman wants to feel free and fun with the guy and not just all serious stuff at once. That's another comment from Amelia. AJ, committed to self. I don't think it's a way to hearts anymore. I am a millennial and from generations older and younger just have every angle that they need satisfied, so they won't focus on growth. The expectation is for women to be understanding of that, mostly black women. I don't hear other races telling younger, old women to be happy with not being married or being cherished. It's deep.
Wow.
Wait a minute, read that again.
Y'all said something. No, don't read that again. Y'all said something earlier about like a soft woman for women, right?
I'm being soft. I just got a hard exterior, okay?
You being soft?
I'm being soft.
And I just want to know, like, what does that mean for men?
I'm being soft.
And how long can it last? If we're looked at as, like a support system or like an anchor or something sure, you know, provision and things like that that come to mind when you think about the relationship dynamic. When should I feel like it's appropriate for me to be soft? And for me to claim that time and say, no, I'm in my soft era, you know?
Okay. So being soft, right? And softeners are different, right? So when I say softeners, instead of me coming to you and say, you know, what are you thinking when you did that, right? Now that might be what I really do feel, is because it really just didn't make any sense, right? But I may come to you and say, you know, where my husband?
Use some tact.
Babe, can you explain to me what that meant? I'm not getting it, but I want you to help me to understand this.
Yeah, that still got the what the hell did you did energy.
No, because
I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna give you credit. Like if I was your husband, I'm gonna laugh. Like I'll give you credit, but I still know you like what the hell did you do?
Let me be very transparent with you. When I was actually looking at him, I was thinking about something that had just happened. And I was thinking of it, so it was coming through, and that was true energy is what I was giving. But I was trying. I was trying with the softness.
Right. No, that was great.
I think that, you know, when your mate knows you, that they give you credit for that. You know what I mean? Because if they know that you are a very non-negotiation or negotiation, but shrewd with it, and you're coming to them in that way,
that vulnerability
they know that you are really trying to not say, what were you thinking about, right? With the expression and the energy.
And that's when you laugh about it weeks later, like, hey, I know you was like probably really tripping, right? I give you credit.
I have a question. I know we all trying to be perfect in our relationships, but can we just, is it okay for us to just have a trip up moment sometimes because we're human?
Well, first, like, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody in here is perfect. So I think when people try to be that, that's when the whole relationship is a lie. From the very beginning is when you do that, because you can. It depends on what kind of trip up.
I'm not saying it like that. No, I'm not saying it like that. That was a joke. That was a joke at the same time. Okay. What I'm saying is, can we just let it be okay for sometimes we had a bad day and I was yelling, but I'm gonna come back and apologize. Like we're not gonna always get it right every time. Even I feel like even in a healthy relationship, sometimes this is the part of me being human. I'm gonna scream sometimes, and it should be okay for me to scream sometimes.
Got it.
Not at me.
You know what though?
For me, it's a part of being human. Like I might come home, but for me, I feel like long as I come back correct, like you know what? Ooh,
your home or my home? You're not screaming at me.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, let's make a home together.
Not in my
it
home.
Should be an agreement.
I can't come home and be like, you know what, babe? I'm irritated. Just give me a second.
No.
I don't want to be the cause of that.
You know what I'm saying? I can't do that.
You gotta scream in the car before you come in the home.
To me, that's not. You gotta be real. We gotta be real. We all have our days. We all got our days.
I mean, you
keep
can
screaming
have
to
your
a
days,
minimum.
Don't get me wrong. I think that
and it still be a healthy relationship, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it could be, but I think also again it comes down to who you're really dealing with, right? Because if that person has had major trauma, right? And maybe their mother, all they did was scream at them their whole entire life, right? So now they get in a relationship with a woman, right? And I'm not saying that you scream all the time or you even scream, but anybody. And then they may hear that screaming and that may be a trigger.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that you're responsible for that if that person has a trigger. They are to communicate that with you. But then once you know that, I think you have to be a little bit more cautious of, yes, everybody has a bad day. And I always say that you can be angry, right? But mindfulness is that you get that anger, everything you got, not to that person though. So if you're in your car, you need to scream, you need to have colorful language, whatever you need to do, you do that for however long you need to do it. Mine is 5 minutes.
I got
that I need to give that anger.
So we can't never raise our voice at our spouse, is what you're saying?
I'm not saying that you
well, then
can't,
take this into consideration.
Respectfully, I'm saying a respectful way.
But you don't know what he has.
Saying, like I said,
I'm talking about if the other person has what we have to be cautious of, and this is just for women, men, whomever. There's some people that have had some serious trauma around having
that's the
a
point.
voice
Know your partner.
It could be even
right, and you might get knocked out right after you holler at him.
Cool. That's cool. What I'm saying is,
if he has trauma for that, you could get fired on him.
No, but see, and that's cool. But what I'm
so you got if he has trauma, that's what she's essentially saying. If he grew up with a woman that
I gave an example of, so we go through my whole life and I just can't never have a day where
we not.
Can you just give me a second?
No, that's
cool,
but take it to consideration that your second might trigger him to fire on you. And you know provoking him. Well, so you don't want to provoke him.
I think if you could
triggered by that. Yeah. She's saying if he grew up in a house where his mama was verbally abusive and all these things.
So you can't never.
So
not him.
Not with him.
Not with him.
Not with that man.
I know that. At me all day. But I'm saying you can't never have a bad day.
This is a loud corner.
Hey, Sean. I think you're asking people to understand what you already understand in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take them another moment to process what you already had understood on your drive home throughout the day.
Yeah. All
you know what I'm
sees
saying?
You coming in.
So all I would say is, yes, of course, you'll have your moments where you might go left. And if the relationship is worth it, he'll understand.
Facts.
And
I like that.
But for the most part, is what you're doing is you're being sensitive to your partner, and as he should reciprocate the same way. You know what I'm saying? So
I didn't say it every day. I say it every now and then. You might have a day.
I'm saying what
No, we're not creating space. I'm talking about this is just being human.
We understand being human, but as humans, we also try to learn, strive, and try to get to a certain point.
Too, at the same time, like you might have you could be human for 34 years of your life, and then one day you might just be like, you know what I mean? You might have a bad day. Just give me a second. You get what I'm saying?
Of course.
So are we allowed to have that 34 years? You've been so calm, and you just had a bad day.
Of course.
Yes, that goes without saying.
Okay, of course.
But what is your bad day? Because like he's saying, if yelling is trauma for me, your bad day, you can't come and yell.
But what I'm saying is that's not a regular thing.
But even if it's a regular thing, if it's a trigger for me, it's a trigger for me. Like my mother was a yeller. So if you get loud to me, you sound like Charlie Brown.
And I understand that.
So I mean, you give grace for the bad day, but I think what he's understanding is you gotta understand how your bad day still has to show.
You already understand
person,
that because that's why 34 years I never.
But just because you react, your bad day, your bad day still might trigger me.
I'm not saying.
No, you don't gotta be perfect, but you don't always just get a pass because that's how you respond. You just gotta figure out how that person reacts to that response. So you had a bad day, but acknowledge, like, you know what?
I mean,
today,
do you want to get fired on?
I might be off, but you can't come in hollering.
You know what? You want to get fired on every now and again?
Sean,
I'm going right to the meat.
I had a question though. Has one of your bad days ever ended in you?
Hold my hand and
I think we do understand what you're saying.
His mama might have been whooping his behind.
To have a bad day is what I'm saying.
Look,
yes, you're allowed
to. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying.
All right, well, that's good. That goes on. Yes.
But just understand that
I might be perfect all these other years, but
the thing
today
is,
I had a bad day.
I think everybody. Sean,
you don't hold it against him when he comes square from the shoulders that day. That's all
everybody understands your point.
No,
wait a minute.
I think
but you acknowledge
that's what I just said.
But if you say it to that person,
I said I gave a perfect example. No. We're good. I walk in the house and something just took me over. It's not my norm, and I just like, can you just give me a second for 1 second?
But that's not having a bad day. But that's you acknowledging like I need a second.
That's the example I gave, and everybody jumped down my throat.
No.
Have a bad day. Have a bad day.
because I think what everybody wants you to understand is that, you know, even though you had your bad day, your bad day could be met with somebody else's bad day.
I'm not gonna fire.
So in the off chance you think you're gonna get grace that day,
I'ma dwell
it's
on
a
the
day that they
rooftop.
don't have grace to give. So, you know what I'm saying? You have to be understanding just as much as you want them to be understanding.
Yeah.
That's
why we being good
temperature of the room.
That's why we being good there for you. I'm just saying, can we just
He might not fire on you, but he might go outside.
Here we go. You gotta find out.
What it say? A man would rather dwell on a rooftop than to deal with a quarrelsome woman.
Facts.
Real quick. The thing about it is like after all of the issues that we're dealing with individually, we have to confront them. It's like it's about being uncomfortable. We have to learn that person and find their comfort zone. I teach and bring up every one of my 3 kids differently. I cannot talk to my son the same way as my oldest daughter, as well as my oldest son. I have to approach them in their way and make them feel comfortable enough to talk to me. Talking about feeling uncomfortable, we'll set the standard. I won't be comfortable with my mate, but I'll be comfortable at work. I won't go off and snap at work. I will make sure I keep a certain tone at work. I'll make sure I keep a certain tone with my daughter, even though I may yell. Some people check. But if we can be comfortable, then that's what, man. I'm going through a divorce, but that's a different story. I'm just now moving into a new home. These people, this apartment complex that I just moved in, this was uncomfortable. They want to know everything about you. Your bank statements. This is uncomfortability. I'm uncomfortable. But yet, I'm giving them my Social Security. I'm being vulnerable. We have to learn how to do that with our mates. For some reason, we try to separate it. I can go to work and be cordial and carry myself a certain way. And when I come home, I should come home and carry myself a certain way with me.
Let's go.
Because you're talking about consequence. Yeah. So, but in a relationship, we have to set boundaries and consequences. So if we do that in the beginning of who we want to invest that time in, and we have, because a lot of times we will set up the boundary, but we don't set up the consequence. Right? You don't get to yell at me. And what's the consequence going to be if you do? And it's not that.
That's your job, though.
I like that. I love that. It's not that.
It's my job, though.
Hey,
that's my boss. I can't go in there hollering at the boss. You know that. That's my pay for all of this.
Okay,
You know that.
sometimes y'all do holler at the boss. Stop playing.
It's the same way.
I lose my job. Did we lose this? Then
Well,
you ain't gonna respect me.
you know what the boundary is.
Yelling at my woman.
You know what the boundary is.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm yelling at home. I might be yelling at home because I
And you
can't.
know
I got so much pressure at work.
But you know what the consequence is going to
And
be.
you willing to accept that because you're like, this is it. This is the
Nikki
straw
Giovanni,
that
didn't
broke-
she say lie to me?
I have a question. Why are going back to softeners, right? Why do softeners get a bad rap? Like people always say, I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm a straight shooter, right? And to me, that's like the opposite. A softener is acknowledging, I really want to say this, but this might not go over well. So let me say it in a way that
But can't you just say exactly
right? But that has a negative rap. It's like that would be considered sugarcoating.
No, I think
It's
you
like-
can say what you feel, just don't be insensitive.
No, but I'm saying that's what people say. Oh, I'm a straight shooter. I get right to the
No,
point.
that don't work. I did that.
No, I
That's disrespect, but you got to get to a
it's
point to
disrespectful, but I'm
understand
saying
how they receive it.
that's the catch-22.
And
It's
to
like,
your mate, it should be different.
Yes.
Because to your mate, you should want to deliver it in a softer way.
Right.
You're not trying to disrespect. You're not trying to hurt her or hurt him. You're not trying. You want to deliver it in the nicest and the most loving way that you possibly can. That doesn't mean that it's still not going to be what it is.
But see, I
it's
think
just that you care enough about the
what you always say. A lot of times, people don't really like who they with. We be out here applying relationship standards to situationships or things that are not exclusively what they should be. So then it's real easy to bigger in everything a person gonna do gonna get on your nerves. You tolerate a whole lot more when you really love that person.
no, that's true. But what I'm saying is, people they cop out and say I'm a straight shooter, and you really just rude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's disrespect.
And I want to acknowledge that fact.
Yeah.
And I want
There's no restraint.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like a partner is an ally. So if I'm having a bad day, if somebody like burned me, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna be like, hey, let me tell you, I'm not using the language that I'm upset with towards the person who's my ally, who's my loved one, who's my person who's a comforter to me. You know what I mean? I'm complaining. The complaint box is open. I'm letting him know what it is with everything. You know what I mean? I don't want to basically like fuss again or get upset in that moment. But I'm fussing about something. I'm not fussing to this person who's like my day one. You know, so I feel like that's like the difference in the language or, you know, how we choose to deliver things. I think that's the delivery sometimes is like, okay, look, let me tell you about these. Let me tell you about this. You know,
So rude and direct or fake and polite?
See, I don't think it's
fake. No, that's a gray. It's in between.
I don't think it's fake or polite. If you're upset about something, I've been really upset or whatever, but I'm upset at the situation or something that's going on or whatever. I'm not basically like directing my upsetness towards like when I'm telling G something. You know what I mean?
Now, see, but so many people don't get that. That's huge. That a person's passion a lot of times can be simply behind the situation. They could not even be mad at you.
But I think that has to be communicated, and I think it has to be in what that person feels, and that person should say, wait a minute, hold on now, are you mad at me?
Don't be worried.
Are you mad at the other individual? Because that's how it feels, the way that it's coming out. But that, again, that's just speaking up, and if it's your mate, and you've been with this person, you should be able to have those conversations, and you have them, and it's over real quick, and you just keep on moving. Because you know each other. But I think I think that's a really good point what you said about being a straight shooter. Because a lot of people will do that. They'll say, well, I'm just a straight shooter. Especially when I lived on the East Coast for about 10 years, that's what they will say all the time. Is that, look, you from Cali, you all zen down and everything like that. You're going to be crying every day, so just get with it, you know? 100. But honestly, a lot of it was just being rude.
And bad communicators.
You know, and bad communicators, right, exactly. So I think that especially in a relationship or in a marriage, that's on a whole different situation as far as what you're saying. That's not a situationship. You know, you are giving everything that's coming from your core to that relationship, especially when it's like marriage. You know?
I think it come real easy. Not easy, but it's doable. You know, very doable.
The problem is that Lynden gets triggered at home, and there's a plethora of things that come out
very easily.
Boom,
I used to do that. Well, you know, I got married young, so, you know, I'm not married anymore, but I used to be that way. But I learned in my experience, tact is everything. So now I'll just be quiet before I say anything because I will blow up. But I don't do that anymore. I used to be like that. I got married at 21. Man, I'm still very direct. I'm very transparent. I keep it stat. You know what I mean? But I will use tact and right tone because you're not going to get through to a woman talking like how I talk to a homie. A woman.
Well, but for women, you're not going to get through to a man talking to them any kind of way either.
Oh, right. I was about to say, how you know you're getting through to the homie? But another thing I wanted to say is art, beauty, equilibrium. Y'all bang, bro. Because y'all started with one question. And look at how long this is going.
I know we got so many other questions too.
I agree.
One question. Y'all got this thing going.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question.
Yes.
Okay, let's get
I just feel like that's I just get tired of that personally. Like people out here being disrespectful, rude, and then they put it in this blanket of like a false strength.
How it is.
That just irritates me.
Yeah.
When it's like,
I don't mean any disrespect, but
No, anytime somebody say, I don't mean to be, you about to be.
oh yeah, I'm not trying to be. Don't take this the wrong way.
Respectfully.
But I think that you're about to take it the
anything
wrong
that
way.
comes after, don't take this the wrong way. Yeah.
Look, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Right, don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong.
And that's how you know.
That's why I think that process time is important. Man. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's how you know where opinions that come towards you aren't really worth your attention. Because if they're coming at you like, I don't really mean it, then you don't really mean it. Shut up. Go ahead and just keep it.
I think the greatest thing for me coming up too was that process time, and I always go back to that because you'll find yourself, if you just wait 24 hours, a lot of times there's certain things that don't even need to be addressed.
Yep.
You know actually what to come to the table with and what to talk about, opposed to talking about it right then, man. You might have an array of emotions and say things you don't mean. You can't take them words back. You know what I mean? The tongue is fiery at times.
When did you get that level of emotional intelligence?
Oh man, like 31, 32. But I was married at 21.
See?
Everyone's is different.
So I was like, man, I say whatever I want to say.
Or say nothing.
Or not say nothing and just move. You know?
It's crazy. I'm 44 and I just learned it.
I had no business being married that young. Just say
I was learning that shit like
again.
a year ago.
You just learned that.
Oh my bad. Yeah, I just learned that a year ago. Like sometimes it's just. Hey, shout out to Love.
Shout out to Live, the live audience, paper in the audience coming through.
Okay, the next question we're going to move on with: do men and women experience the world differently? Chime in, y'all.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
To the point where some people want to experience it the other way.
Yeah, it's
Boom.
far.
Is one experience better than the other?
It's different for sure.
It's a difference.
Yeah.
It's obviously a difference. You know what
I'm
saying?
enjoying my experience. I think we should get more people on camera and on record saying how much they enjoy their experience. And not to bash anybody for feeling the way they feel, but
why are you waving your hands over
Oh,
here?
you said not to bash.
it's usually people on the camera, on the viewership. Not us.
G, he did it not to bash.
Yeah,
He
see?
started with not
You
to
about to
bash.
bash.
I'm not bashing.
I do.
Like, I'm very happy with my experience and all of its variety in where I am. And I think if we talk about that more, then other people might not feel so turned off by somebody wanting a different experience. I don't have no problem with you wanting whatever experience you want because mine is going right now. Even in my lows.
You ain't gonna be cool with all experiences.
I'm just saying, even in my lows, I'm happy with the person that I am. I'm happy with the, my body.
You talking about the
I'm
other
not
person.
perfect. I don't think I'm the
Yeah, you
best
talking
looking
about the
dude
other
in the
party.
room, but I feel like I'm better looking than anybody who's gonna ask me about how I look right now in that moment.
Yeah, I know what
And
you're
that's
talking about. I know what
because
you're
of
talking
how I feel about myself. And I wish people would express that more. I think if we pushed with that, then some people wouldn't be so comfortable with telling people how they feel about somebody else's experience.
I hear you.
That vulnerability.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. But you gotta have a strong mind, independent mind, okay, and not care about what people think.
Yeah.
That's a question. This actually came up in the shop this week.
Okay,
What?
you know what?
What is this to the women? What is a woman's intuition? We hear that a lot. It's been in the shop. How will you define it?
It's her.
Take it away, ladies.
It's her core. It's her spirit. It's her truth. It is basically, so you know how when we say, I should have followed my first mind, that first mind is your truth. So a woman, though, has it to, I hate to say this, but it's just true. A woman has it deeper than a man could ever even think about having intuition. Intuition is in her core, it's in her womb, it's who she is, if she would just listen. And so I'm not saying that men don't have discernment, because they do. But women, it is a innate that they have intuition. So a lot of times when they come to their girlfriend and they say, I think he's cheating, or do you think he's cheating?
Right.
She already know he's cheating. She don't really need the evidence, even though she want the evidence and do whatever to get the evidence. But at the end of the day, it's something in her that has already let her know that that person is cheating. I'm not talking about someone that's completely toxic and think everybody cheating on them. I'm talking about just healthy people
That's another one of those.
So do women got more discernment than men?
Why they gotta be the
I'm
example
using my
though? Why
intuition.
can't it be something else?
Do women got more discernment than
I
men?
think y'all should start saying men intuition.
I think
Do women got more discernment?
We dumb as hell.
For me as a man, it's more like I could be knocked out sleep, and it could be a loud bang of my child in the next room, right? Loud bang, I'll sleep through it, but I'll hear a creak outside. That's my intuition. It's just different from women. It's not that I don't feel it's better or less. It's just different.
Oh, I don't think it's better. I think it's a difference in the sense that women are wired differently, so it's innate to them. To men, it's a different type of discernment.
A protective mode.
Yes, to men, it's like they can see something 3 blocks away that I don't see.
See?
That I'm just like, because of the heart I have, I'm just like, oh.
That's why they need to
I'm
listen.
leading with my heart. Whereas
We can't
he's
protect,
already
we don't
seen
listen.
3 blocks away what that is. So it's different. But innately, what intuition means, that GPS system for a woman, the compass is set differently than it is for how men are wired. Just like you have things that for a woman I would never have. And thank God you have that.
Yeah,
you know,
it blends perfectly.
Exactly.
Man and woman.
Right. But a lot of times we'll say, well, a man is supposed to be the protector. But he's also supposed to not only be the protector physically, but he's supposed to be the protector of my heart too. You know, so even if you have to suffocate the worst part of you to give me the best part of you, then do that.
Word.
Right?
Word up. Word up.
I respect that.
Yes. Man, do you have anything to say?
The worst part of you for you yourself.
Then what you doing?
That's true.
What you doing for him then?
Yeah.
What you suffocating for him?
Speak on it. Here, where's the mic at? Everybody.
Come on, man, speak up.
Women's intuition is a lucky guess.
It's a shot in the dark. Hold on, no, this way. That's all.
There you go. My man over here is about evidence-based action. Just you know,
Because intuition, like you said, it's like we have no evidence of what's happening, but I know something's happening. That is, I don't know how to quantify that into something to say, but it's like, it's like you can guess something. We will never hear when you're wrong about it because you only want to tell us when you may be right. Like you may be wrong Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Right, no one knows about it because you keep it internalized. We don't hear you say like, oh, you know what? I thought you were cheating today. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't catch you.
Maybe sometimes we do that.
And then at some point, you are so focused on this intuition, like being correct. It's almost like self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
You start neglecting the part of your relationship that, you know, will keep him there. And then it's so, like he'll see you drift away because all you're doing is thinking, he's cheating on me. I got to find out how.
And that goes back.
I think you're talking about more like trust issues and not intuition.
She don't trust me.
That's a difference.
Let me prove her
But
right.
intuition should make you be accountable though too, because he has a solid point. Because I didn't like that. I've had that happen. They'll go through your phone and say something when they find something, but when you go through it,
and they
say something when you don't. I want you to walk us. You know, I went through your shit today.
Better not be nice.
I didn't find nothing. You him.
I mean,
You are him.
stay out of people's personal stuff.
You want transparency.
So
Stay out of people's stuff.
I went through your phone. Everybody stop touching everybody's phones. Okay?
Thank you.
Don't ever like what you find in someone else's phone.
Yeah.
It's never a great discovery.
Because you was gonna run up if you found something.
Like,
You was for sure gonna say
phone is where you
something.
everyone keeps secrets. Like
I won't
go
praise
through
when
what
you
won't
don't find nothing.
Yeah, but
See,
see, that's different. That's kind of on the borderline of when I have intuition of what my spirit has told me is the truth, it is the truth. So regardless whether you want to accept it, regardless of whether you want to admit it, has nothing to do with what I know in my intuition of my spirit is the truth.
But everybody ain't on your same level though.
True.
And knowing their spirit and the truth.
Defining how you use that language.
Okay, but here's the other thing. Then there's toxicity. So the toxicity of where I'm going through your phone, right? Because I'm not doing all of that. That takes too much energy. I'm not going through your phone and doing all of that.
And if you are, you kind of like it.
If it,
Well, you're going to find what you're looking for.
You do. That's why you keep finding yourself in these situations.
You'll find what you're looking
you're
for.
supposed to, if it's about just your truth and your intuition, you connect to it when it comes up because it's supposed to come up. So I'm not supposed to go and try to find something or whatever my toxicity is, then I'm blaming that on intuition. That's not what that is.
That's another blanket.
That's a good point.
I like to explain
that actually is one reason why I'm moving not to do those types of things. Because if it's supposed to come up,
I was trying to figure out where you was coming from. I'm like,
you know you're doing great.
You're doing good. You back in because I was at the ledge. I was like, nah, I do this. But I got you. I understand.
Okay.
Flowers when I'm doing right.
No, for real.
But I feel like this. Because this is where the conversation went in the shop. Then, why want a woman's intuition?
How much you on it?
Hold on.
Other types of information, like their partner's unhappy. Or your homeboy that thinks your homeboy, you really want to smash. And it takes another man to tell you, you don't know he like you.
Oh, we see it.
So you do see that.
Oh, yeah.
So if you like me.
Yeah.
Cat.
So then you're.
I'm like, you see it.
Then that means
Not
everybody.
but
Wait. See, my
That's
dad
why you
always
can't have no
told
work
me.
husbands. Period.
I was always hearing that ain't no guy really trying to be your friend like that. At some point, somebody likes
I'm just
somebody,
saying
and that other
it's-
person didn't like them back.
It's all.
That is true.
It's
Now we
not
cool.
just.
That
So
is
when we
true.
asked the men in the shop, like what they believed it was, the vast majority of them believed it's an ability to tell when somebody's cheating. That's it. It was put in that box. So I'm like, it has to be broader than that.
No,
You know what I mean?
It's on every level.
Yeah.
The
It's not
intuition
just for
could be, right, that I come to my husband and say, you know what, I know you're getting up, you're going to work every day, but something is going on that you're not happy with.
you're still grieving.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right?
You know, or
Facts.
something very.
Or knowing something's wrong with the
It
kids.
has nothing
Something wrong
to
with-
do
yeah.
with,
It's-
with cheating. It has
Right.
everything to do with maybe I've been so distracted
tune.
with
Thank you.
everything
That
else
I do believe is
that
strong.
my intuition
It's
Right,
like
right,
truth
right.
or understanding.
Look,
Thank you.
A woman
we
has
need
that
to-
over a
to
guy. I
say
actually
this,
do.
right?
Doc, I'm glad you said that because we had a question,
It's about if you
but
believe
now
it
that
or not.
answered the question
Right.
that we had. Because at first, the question we had in the shop was, if women have intuition of a man cheating, why can't they have intuition of when a man's unhappy? But you just answered it right
Yes,
there. You know, so
She should have it.
yeah.
But
So,
that's also
That's
if
all that
you're-
intuition.
if you're tapped in.
right.
Because if you're not tapped in,
That's true.
then you're not going to be able to hear what's really going on in the core of your truth
Right.
over all the distraction and the noise.
Right.
Right.
So
So you do have to be tapped in.
Yeah.
Because if
Part
you're
of it.
not, then you're not gonna hear your intuition.
So if
anyway.
you don't know your-
sometimes your intuition is talking to you, but you don't want to hear what your intuition is saying.
Oh.
And so
Preach,
you
doctor.
turn down the
Amen.
volume.
Come on, somebody.
Amen.
So that means if the intuition ain't sensing you unhappy, then you just insecure. If you always know
That's
you
what I said.
cheating.
It's different. There's some one thing to be insecure.
You said, I'm sorry, say it again.
Basically, no, never mind. However, go. You're right. We had intuition is your intuition should go across the board. You should be able to sense cheating if you have to, or if something's wrong with your man.
Stop saying
the
cheating.
child. Well, that's because the
We
question
don't
that
cheat.
came
So what
up-
you're saying
no, black
is
men don't
have
cheat
selective
at all.
intuition is what you're saying. No
Broad.
selective intuition.
It shouldn't be selective.
It shouldn't be.
selective.
There we go. There we go.
Right. And you gotta be clear about your definition of the word, because some people's mindset is just so small or not small, but in wherever their exposure is, that they don't understand that intuition doesn't just have to be about when somebody's doing something wrong to them, but also recognizing that person and being in tune with that person.
True.
You know?
Like being tuned to me, I want Ramona's burritos on Tuesdays. Okay?
I think you could just
I hope your
communicate
intuition
that, and
say,
it don't have
I
to be
want
about
those burritos on
intuition.
Tuesdays.
I do have a real story. So look, me and Jay, look, me and Jay used to work at the shopping center right here, right?
Yes.
We used to literally drive out, like on the other side of this wall, we would exit. I would pass in front of this building every day on my way home.
Making a lot
Every
of noise
single
up there
day,
on
I
the
look
way.
at this. This building wasn't even on my radar. It was kind of dilapidated, run
Yeah, it's like
down.
off to the side. Like,
My wife one day is like, we need to inquire about that building. I'm like, this building?
wow.
Oh, see,
Look at God.
And
Just
here we
just
are,
look at God.
7 years in business. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Shima. That's that good intuition.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shima.
That's what's up.
That boy set up the whole vibe for later.
Yes. That boy got some cookies in that cookie jar. Hey, George got some cookies in that cookie jar. You go ahead, George.
I still been over there.
That boy's
Like, where would you even be?
Yeah, not here. Not having this one appreciation. Yeah.
6 years in. 6
Hey,
years.
it's gonna be a
y'all,
good
6
night.
years. Yep.
Yeah, just sit.
Oh, 6 years here. Okay.
Yes. I'm like 16 years here.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's changed a lot inside of here too.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
done a great job with the decor and everything.
I can't
But
believe
it's the
I
didn't see that. That's my
6
point.
years
is
ago.
that I
And
didn't
I
see
see
this
people
at all.
building. I see people building. I don't just see things changing on the walls and aesthetics changing. I see people building. Like, this is really dope. Even with like the way you guys stepped it up and did art, beauty, equilibrium.
I saw what it was, not what it could be.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
All right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That's dope.
More beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Check out the
that was
transparency on
amazing.
G.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel
Yeah,
that.
you saw what it
That
was,
was
but not what it could be. I love that. That was good.
T-shirts will be out soon.
George told Shima, I see you. I see
All right.
you, girl.
My cameraman is telling us we have to wrap it up. We running out on all power. So we got one more. We got time for one more question.
There we go.
Do something with the government or the UFOs, George. Come on, George. George, you have
not
crazy
tonight.
world topics.
Not tonight. What we got, Shima?
Jimmy, like, did y'all see that? Did y'all see that UFO?
Well, in the true spirit of this podcast, in the true spirit of this shop, and the true spirit of our relationship, we've always basically wanted to put the spotlight on others and basically grow together as a group, collectively, as a culture. And at this moment, I would like for you, if you would like to plug yourself, tell them about your website, your business as an entrepreneur or whatever. Please, everybody, if you didn't get a chance to speak, or if you have something blooming in the works or whatever, just take the time this last few minutes to basically give us a little brief synopsis about what you do, who you are, where they can find you, because I think it's power in numbers together, and we are supporters. So if you support us, we support you, and we form a collective that we can all be having the same intuition to follow each other.
And we didn't pay for this promo.
Exactly.
I want the first slot.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
please.
My name is
Tommy.
Tommy J. You can catch me every Tuesday morning on the Michael Collier Morning Show. I sing an original Tommy J song every Tuesday morning. I'm in a American Songwriters competition right now. So if you don't know about my music, please find out. Lynden, don't cross in front of me while I'm doing my bit. This is my only time I got. I don't pay for this. No. At Tommy J Music on all social media platforms. Thank you guys so much for having me. I love y'all.
No, that boy can sing for real.
Thank you. Now put your info in the chat.
I was not aware, Tommy J. Not aware. Thanks for that communication.
That was good. Man, I go by the name of Paper. You feel me? I had to slide out one time to check y'all out. Man, I was supposed to go out tonight, but I stayed in, pull up on y'all, man.
Intuition.
Feel me? Yeah,
Intuition.
This a dope show. You feel me? When I'm here, man, you can find me on social media at PAYPAH_CBZ. I'm lit right now too. So I hope y'all enjoy yourself, and I'm just chilling.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Now we had Paper's album on the show a few months back, right? Okay.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Oh, I'll go. I guess I'll go.
Talk a little-
Nobody
you
else
already
wanna
got
go.
the mic. You already
I got
have
a
the
mic already. Yeah, you gotta relax. Tomorrow's Sunday. All right. I'm Sean, aka Tiger Lily. I am a hairstylist here at the lovely Art Beauty Equilibrium. Also, I sell hair, okay, virgin hair. So if you want to pick up some hair here, or I'll pull up in the alley, however you want to get it, I can mail it to you. Check me out. I'll put in my information in the chat. And also, too, in conjunction with G Productions. I'm a singer-songwriter, and we do live shows with a live band. So we are going on our third show now, which is called Love Story. Now we're on Love Story 3, so check us out. But we also do different venues, like different shows in different areas. So if you follow me on IG, I constantly post. And this is my engineer slash producer slash all that slash
Mr. Everything.
slash my counselor. He got
Pastor.
He got to keep me together too at the same time.
Mr. Everything. Hey, yeah, shout out to G, man. G is Mr. Everything. And G, hey, man, and G we trust. None of this is possible without G, man.
Real
the
talk.
podcast,
Real talk.
everybody's vision and dreams. G, it can't get done without G. You feel me?
And if you want to hear something
And Shima.
that makes sense,
And Shima.
Of course. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm-
The woman of the house. The woman of the house.
Of course. The honorable wife, Shima.
Yeah, so I'll put my information in, but you guys follow us our journey. We're documenting everything. He's doing that. Oh yeah, y'all know G got like 10 careers. So we're doing a documentary. We're doing a documentary.
He engineered music, fly drones,
And also too, if you guys want to see it,
videos.
Wear fly LA hats.
let's plug it in. Let's ask people, do they want to see a reality show of Art Beauty Equilibrium? Do y'all want to do that? Y'all want to see it?
I got a question, Sean. Does virgin hair come from virgins?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Because I don't know this stuff.
The answer
Okay,
is
so
I don't know this.
that's a
you want to know, huh? Virgin hair is authentic hair that has not been processed. That means there you go. She knows all about it. There you go.
Yes.
It has not been processed. It's literally. I'm
I
not
am-
gonna tell you.
I am more lost than where I started. Wait a minute.
You know, it's not been processed. So we don't want to get into the back part because
But the hair is good hair.
it
You
has
can
not-
keep
it has
it.
not been processed.
It lasts for a long
Sonya
time.
Channel is listening. I need a how it's made on virgin human hair.
It's 1,000% human
Bundles.
hair.
Right,
from
so you
human
can bleach
people.
it, wash
Okay.
it, condition it,
We're not gonna tell you how we
reuse
get
it.
it. We're not gonna tell you how we get it, because then that's a whole different.
Anyone else?
Anyone else?
That's a different topic for a different morning. We're gonna leave that topic for the morning.
Dr. Hannah, can you tell us more about the self files,
I want to hear
please?
about the doc. Thanks for being here. I learned
You wanna
something.
get-
So what I did want to offer to anybody in this room that if you wanted a 30-minute free session about anything, you want to talk about anything, you
Hold
want
on, let me
something-
record you. You said what? Anybody in this room?
Anybody in this room, if you want a 30-minute session, just free of charge, just because I really respect what Shima, her husband, Jason,
Lynden.
Lynden is doing here, and just all of you in here that are supporting that. But you have to do it today, meaning that you have to sign up today for me to get you on my calendar. But I wanted to offer that to anybody. And it doesn't have to be relationship. It could be anything. It could be like a real problem that you're going through that you maybe just need to work through. So I am offering that today only, 30 minutes free, but it doesn't have to be today. We can schedule that, but if you'd like to take advantage of that. So
Will do.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Down. Put me in schedule.
I'm gonna sign up Lynden twice. He gonna take my spot and his spot.
So take advantage. Sign up today, you guys. The Self-Outs book is a tremendous tool to use in your daily lives and to continue to go back to, because I keep on going back. I keep on rewinding. I keep rewinding those pages, Doctor.
And the retreat was just absolutely amazing. So we do it's the Self-Outs book. We do the program, and then we just had our retreat, and we're getting ready to do our business intimacy retreat at the end of November. So so excited about that. So you can follow me 2 places at the Self-Outs Retreat. That's on Instagram at the Self-Outs Retreat. And then you can follow me at THE Self SELFBOWS Retreat.
Gotcha.
And you can also follow me at Michelle_R_Hanna HANNAH.
Woo!
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
And
Once again, thank you everybody for coming through.
Join this evening with us.
Exactly. And thank you to my brothers, Jason Lynden. We've been together every Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. live for the past few years. We've all grown a lot.
Yes.
Seen a lot.
It's a family.
And I can't wait to continue our relationship. George, my husband, thank you so much, whatever. But I just want to say that this is something that I really, really, really wanted to see happening. I can't wait to see it happen again.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have more of this. But I want to thank you guys just because of the energy that is coming from this room and the thought-provoking conversations that we always have. And we don't agree on everything, but we grow from it.
Right.
We learn and we're better because of it. So
Yeah, we be talking about a lot.
All right, y'all. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. It's free 99.
Tuesday.
Yes, we'll see you Tuesday.
All right.
Thank you to all our
8:30 a.m.
subscribers. Okay? Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, y'all.
All right. Peace.
We can turn the ground. Kick it up.